Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Broyans Farm. As you can see, it's a beautiful morning, but very foggy. The first thing Sammy and I are gonna do is head out to Scranton. We have to paint our market tables. Today is Tuesday, not tomorrow on Wednesday, but the next Wednesday, Scranton Market starts. So we gotta get everything prettied up and ready because not gonna be long, we're gonna start selling.
That thing is so cool.
I like it a lot.
So much nicer than painting in my hand.
So we just got here to the Scranton Farm Market about, I don't know, an hour ago. So it was quite a while ago. But first thing we realized when putting this whole machine together was that we didn't have a wrench to tighten everything down, so it had leaks. Same, we had to run out to Coast Tire. They let us borrow a wrench, told them we'll bring it back in about 2 hours. We got almost three and a half tables done. This is working really well now that I got it figured out for the most part. Especially when it comes to these little cracks and crevices, I can just spray it, and it's usually only takes one coat and it's done. The pulls saves a lot of time. I just gotta be careful because there's different things around, like their wires and obviously the asphalt that I don't want to get paint all over. Obviously it's gonna happen here and there. You're not gonna have a perfect paint job, but I try to do it as least amount as possible. So everything's now painted. Looks really good. We got a little bit of drift from the spray. You can see a little bit of color difference there, but that's not really a big deal. Just foot traffic will wear that right off. Me and Sammy were just talking. We think we just about cut our time in half, so that was good. We had a little bit of an issue with some drippage because our fittings weren't tight. Now this is also old from other years, and now we've got a couple new drops from this year. But anyway, now that we got everything painted, we wanted to put some railings out front because people with bags, or just if they're trying to get some produce together, they like to put it out here because we fill this whole back section up with all of our produce. So this just gives them a place to put their things, and so we got one board up. We needed a little bit extra, so now we had to cut like a 4-foot board or a little over that for that section. We're all done, boards up, spots swept out, everything's painted. We're ready to go for the first day. We just got back. I let Sammy unload the truck, all the tools we had. I just took the heavy stuff off so she didn't have to lift that. Dad wants to get started right away on planting our cantaloupe and watermelon. So I gotta go get the tractor hooked up to the planter, gotta get the water tanks filled if we don't have enough water, and then hopefully get into the field because we were kind of in a hurry. We thought strawberry plants were coming in today, so we wanted to start planting them. But I just got a phone call from Norris Farms, and they said that's not gonna be till tomorrow. Dad just put a new battery in the International. It was starting pretty slow, and actually the one time it didn't even start, so we figured, why waste time? We're just gonna put a new one in. Thinking there's a possibility it could also be the alternator, so we're gonna check that next. We're having a meeting about blueberries.
Is that good, Frank?
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm good with it.
I
got
nice big pump.
Ask Logan. I got 2 bushes. Out of 2 bushes, I got 1 total basket.
Wow, good.
So I was just gonna have him pick for till 4:30. Like he'll get 2.5 hours in a picking, or whenever your if you fill your buckets first, whatever which comes first.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he can stop out there and get all them buckets.
So we just about got the water tank filled. We needed 350 gallon. It's actually the measurements on the other side. right here. Hard to tell with this green tank, but the water is about right to here, so it's just about done. It says it's a 425 gallon tank altogether, but I don't think you can really get that much in it, especially if it's sitting at any sort of an angle. We're heading out to the field. I have the water wheel. Dad's gonna take the water tank. And then we have the big John Deere hooked up to the flatbed with all the plants on it. Sunflowers are doing pretty good. Garlic's about ready to be harvested. The whole field, I mean. Oats are looking pretty good. They're getting kind of weedy. We'll see what happens with them. Our soybeans aren't in the ground yet, which is a little bit concerning. We actually don't plant our own. We have another farmer do it for us, and he's very busy as well. But we're hoping now, if we don't get some rain for a couple days, and being that we haven't had any rain now for a couple days, it should be drying up and we can get them in. This is one of the fields right here where they're gonna be going. Dad just sprayed it this morning. You can see they're all starting to turn yellow and die now. The upper two rows are cantaloupe. Then down here is all of the watermelon. There could be some honeydew mixed in there too, I'm not quite sure. That also could be what we're planting today. Down here, the weeds are very bad. We didn't spray them when we sprayed the other cantaloupe and watermelon because we weren't really worried about it with there not being any plants there, but now it's gonna have to get taken care of right away because they're getting pretty bad. Then here comes Mom and the big John Deere. Dad's following behind with the case and the water tank. Last time we finished, we ran out of plants, so we couldn't do the whole row. But now I'm afraid to run through it because we have all the vines coming out. We're gonna kill them all off. Like this one I just barely missed, but there's a lot more coming out a lot further. So I'm gonna talk to Dad and see what he says. This makes me wanna cry. So we finished off that first half row. You can't see it, but that's a mixture of watermelon and the new cantaloupe plants. They went in really nice, and now I think they're still planting cantaloupe, but these ones are a lot smaller. If you remember, we did an experiment. We planted these ones in 3 or 4 packs, I can't remember, and these were planted in the plugs that we usually do them in. These are just a lot easier in the 6 packs or the 4 packs, whatever they were in. And so if they do good, that's probably what we're gonna do from now on.
Two, I got one.
Oh.
They're going so nice at this end. Going faster.
Sweet corn's almost ready. Now out here, it isn't quite as mature just because of the trees shading it out and everything. But out in there a little further, it looks a lot better. Also, it looks like the coons or squirrels, whatever it is, has been getting into this. You can see how they're knocking down the stalks and even eating into the not even close to mature ear. But the next patch, the second planting, you can see how much taller the plants are. You can see how much greener and just better all around. The stand's better. So I can't wait for them. You can see the ears starting to come out now. Probably, I don't know, a week is what I would guess, but I am definitely not the expert. Dad would know better than me. That stuff's a couple weeks. The whole field is just buzzing. I don't know if you can see them, but the honeybees and the bumblebees are all over the tassel. I don't know if you can see them flying around. That's crazy. I've actually never seen that before. That's really good to see. They're pollinating all this corn, making honey for the hive, wherever their hive's at. I don't even want to walk in there. I'm a little nervous. That's so cool. You can see all the pollen all over his leg. Cantaloupe and watermelon are done. Now I gotta hook up to the other planter with the 420, and we're gonna go out and plant, I think, just about one row of sunflowers. There she is. These rows are so old, it's hard for me to tell where to drive, but I think I've got it figured out. We got everything in the ground and it's getting a little bit later in the day, so I figured I'd come up here to the strawberry field and start laying out my lines for all the drip tape. Because not only are we going to be putting the strawberries in the ground hopefully tomorrow, but we want to soak the bed some. It's just good to get some moisture in the soil. So I have a bunch of blue lay flat, and I think I'm going to lay it out to the middle of the field, or just about the middle of the field, and then run my header line through there and then pump both ways instead of trying to start at one end. I don't know who it was, but somebody put a comment and said, you know, can you go 1,400 feet? And the answer is no. That person was right. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but you're not going to get good pressure all the way out at the far end like you are right where your header line is, because it's just a little tiny tube and it's hard to push water that far. We actually haven't set up drip in our strawberries since the first year we've done it. We've had 1, 2, and then on the other side of my house, 3 different patches that we haven't done. This is our 4th, and so we're going to do it again. The first patch was our best patch, so we figured, you know, let's get everything set up and do it right this time. After we were done with that first field, we kept some of our blue lay flat here, but that's not gonna be enough, or at least it doesn't look like it's gonna be enough to get out to the middle of the field. And so we do have a big roll right here if I need to use it, but I'd rather not use that. I wanna get the old stuff used up first, but I also don't wanna have to put a bunch of different splices in. So I'm gonna lay these out and see what happens. So you've seen these red flex lines we use when we're using our big metal pipe, like that one right there. This is basically the same thing, except we have a reducer on it to go down to the black or the blue lay flat. And so that's what I'm going to use to run all the way out and out of the middle. One thing I always forget to do is put the hose clamp on before I slip the pipe over top. Beautiful. branch. So I ended up getting out here just about 400 feet with my blue lay flat. That was with putting 2 splices in just to get me out even a little bit further. Obviously not even close to halfway, but that's all I have and that's what I'm gonna work with. It's still much, much better though than starting at the beginning of the field and running the whole 1,400 feet. So now what I'm gonna do is find the drip tape in each row, pull it up out, make a nice straight line across, lay out my header line, and then start putting all the drip tape into it. But unlike the end, I'm gonna have 1 header line and 2 sets of drip tape, 1 going into each side. So I'll cut it here, have drip tape going into this side of the header line, have drip tape going into this side of the header line, and then if I want to, I can pump this side of the field at one time and this side at the other, or if for some reason it works well, I can pump the whole field at once. Sunset's beautiful, nice and cool right now. It's actually not that bad working. I have got a mess. Maybe if I put it down, it'll be easier. A little better. There's my line, about as straight as I could get it. Now I can put my caps on. So I got both end caps in. I got my regulator right in the middle. Well, actually, kind of in the middle. There's 6 rows on that side, 5 rows on this side. There really isn't an exact middle unless I went right here, but no big deal. So now what I gotta do is get an adapter that I was gonna go over top of this fitting right here, and then it'll clamp on there real nice and tight. But it's getting pretty late. I'm gonna go in for supper. So that's what I'm gonna call it a wrap for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching, and always remember it ain't much, but it's honest work.